audio ini. Ya.
Okay. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon, all the participants, ladies and gentlemen. We will continue our guest lecture with the theme Automatic Assessment in Science Education. First of all, let's praise our God Almighty because we can gather in a healthy way and without any obstacles. And today, we will continue the guest lecture, and this section of guest lecture will be moderated by Mr. Bayu Antrakusuma. Mr. Bayu Antrakusuma, the time is yours.
Oke, thank you, Miss Juwita. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to this lecture for entitled Artificial Intelligence for Learning, Automatic Assessment in Science. Still with me, Bayu Antrakusuma, the moderator today's main session. In this session, we will continue our activity with our speaker, Professor Minsu Ha, Ph.D. Good afternoon, Professor Minsu. How are you today?
Yeah, good, very good. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I hope you're always happy and healthy. Yesterday, we learned a lot from Professor Minsu about assessment and rubrics design for artificial intelligence for machine learning process. And today we will continue to another topic from our speaker. But before we start, still, I'd like to remind you about the rules of main session. Please present the rules. Okay. Duration of the main session is 100 minutes, 60 minutes for presentation and 40 minutes for Q&A. All of participants should rename their account as year of your class _ name. The participants have to attend the all session, day 1 and day 2, in order to earn certificate. During the presentation from Professor Minsu, all of participants should mute their microphone. All of the participants can write the question in the chat box, and the moderator will read it for you in Q&A session. And in the Q&A session, all of participants can ask to the Professor Minsu directly by firstly, raise your hand. You can unmute yourself after the moderator call your name. Please also turn on your camera while speaking. Okay, let's begin this session. Professor Minsu, time is yours for the next 60 minutes.
Okay, yeah, thank you so much. And I'm very glad to see you again. Yeah. Okay, let me start by share my screen first. Okay, let me start. Last week we studied about the function of assessment and this rubric design. Today, actually, I'm very glad to introduce my ongoing research about size system. Let me change my point option. Yeah. Size system. Yeah, scoring assistant using artificial intelligence. This is actually our ongoing research, and we developed this system for the Indonesian language as well. So later we will demonstrate how it works for Indonesian language. So this is list of contents. Okay, long time ago actually I studied about the text analytics for the computer scoring. We don't have much time to introduce this one, but you can search IBM SPSS Text Analytics, this software. This is also used for computer scoring. Yeah. And we moved to machine learning method. So we used supervised machine learning method for our evolutionary concept. At that time, we developed the EvoGrader program. Also, we don't have much time to introduce EvoGrader, but you can search Google EvoGrader. There is many information and papers. And 3 years ago, we developed the Y system. This is Korean, the computer scoring system. So, actually, the first one is not about machine learning, but both. It's about we use the machine learning method. So let me quickly, I need to stop this PPT slideshow and move to the website. I will share my screen to introduce the short demonstration of YML, this system. So let me stop. And here, so let me, I want to show the YML. Yeah, this is YML. So can you see mine?
Yes.
Yeah. So why machine learning? We developed this system. This is the web-based machine learning tool that we can use to train the scoring algorithm, scoring model, computer scoring model without any programming. So you guys don't need to study about Python, R, and programming language to train the scoring model. Just use this one. But it's actually, this is for the Korean language, not Indonesian. But I think we can later develop same system for Indonesian language. So so for example, last week we collected your data, right? So for example, so if you have like this student response, these are student response, real response, and this is your real score. So students have this concept, 1 score, doesn't have the concept at 0 score. So you can if you develop the analytic group where your scoring is like that. So if you have multiple scores, multiple dimension, you can have several more the scores, right? But if you have a single dimension, yeah, you have only 1 score. For example, this is your score data. So you collect the student response, and you need to you score the response, then you have those data. This is data. So when you have this data, So you can upload, for example, just upload, and there is done. Yeah, okay, let me just continue. So you can, this is a feature, F-E-A-T-U-R-E, feature. It's like a characteristic, lexical characteristic of student response, just language is kind of. So, but you guys need to understand what those are means, but just keep. And we now extracting the features, lexical feature, kind of linguistic features from the response. So that means, oh, this keyword is most important, they know, to predict the score. And then those are lists. Then almost done, and go to the train algorithm. So there are many. These are, we call it classifier. So those model will develop the scoring algorithm. So for example, naive basis, logistic regressions, we call it SVM, this is wrong. Decision to random forest, but I just use all. Then, yeah, this is also important, but skip the explanation and training. Then done. So this F1 is most important, the measurement to see. And then F1 compared to F1 score, oh, decision tree developed very high, very good scoring model. Just decide, okay, decision tree scoring algorithm. So we save the decision score. Yeah, this one. So we save, already computer developed the scoring model. So if this scoring model work very well, so you guys don't need to score again. We just use this model. So so let me, for example, then predict. For example, here is the data that you need to score. There's no score, right? There is no score, only the response, right? You guys need to score, but we have the scoring model. So let's try our scoring model. So why? Upload your data. So there is no score, right? But we have scoring model. So let me upload. So there are 3 file model PKL, yeah, model decision tree, vectorizer, and JSON file. Then now click, then they predict. Then same data, but there's no score here, but there's score. They say predicted score. Save. So there is a score. Here, no score, but there's score. So maybe if you're not sure, you can randomly check the accuracy. But this data actually the data that I did check and was very good. So that means you guys don't need to score this question again. Just use these scoring models. I hope you guys understand. But let me go back to my slide. So now you guys saw the process of the Y machine learning method. So it's very good, right? So once you have the very good and accurate scoring model, you guys don't need to score again. Just use your scoring model. That's the power of the machine learning based scoring. However, think about, to develop the scoring model, you guys need to take your time, and also actually, you guys need to spend some money. If you are a real researcher, still like you guys need to have some budget to collect the data and score. And also think about, if teacher just made the question and you did not have the scoring model for the question, then basically there's no way to score the student data quickly. And second one is, so when you have the scoring model, there's no way to customize the scoring model. You guys need to use the same question for your class. And last one is, it's important. For example, there is a question and scoring model already, and all teachers want to use the pre-existing scoring model for their class because that saves your energy and effort, everything, time. Then all teachers use the same question and same content for their class, then there's no diverse education. So I believe, all teachers must use, their own questions for their class. That's our, the goal. That's actually it's better than, non-diverse education. So that's why, we need something that we can use for every question. So machine learning based scoring also good. It's very important, but still we need some AI tool to score student response. That's why we developed our grant system. So I was thinking about, and in order to move to our grant system, and we need to think about that. Here is this is my thought on evaluation and feedback. So many people really concerned about accuracy of automated assessment. I remember last week, one question was about accuracy. For example, if we have high-stake tests such as college entrance exam, final exam, accuracy is important. However, like most formative exam is not, it doesn't have to be very accurate. The most important thing is immediately, the teacher are able to give the feedback to student. That's more important, not accuracy. And then also, usually, the formative assessment, the purpose of formative assessment is to make the feedback. So the evaluation assessment must be able to generate the content for the feedback. So if the assessment make that information, that's important. Yeah. So the accuracy is also important, but less important than those functions. So as long as the assessment make the very good information for the feedback, that is okay. So I believe educational effectiveness and student satisfaction is much more important than accuracy of the assessment. So in this, with this thought, we developed the size system. So size system, here is the principle of the size system. So when teacher have all student response, this is the response. And last week we collected more than 200 student response for each question. Think about, in order to score 200 response, it might take, more than several hours. But here is the, so in order to save the time, we developed this system, and the principle of this system is based on this paper. First of all, we extract the important keyword from the corpus, this data, whole response, like 200 responses, we extracted important keyword. Here is very important idea. Actually, we developed this idea. So good ideas are similar. Good and correct ideas are usually similar because those are toward teachers' expectation and teachers, the question. But wrong idea or bad idea are so diverse, cannot be similar. If so many students have same idea, but that's wrong, the probability is so low. So the good ideas are similar and bad ideas are not similar. So we extract the similar component from the corpus, then we believe those are the important keyword related to the correct answer. This is our hypothesis. So when we test, it works actually. So we use this important keyword to score individual response. So those scoring models are from whole response, and then back to individual response and make the comment. First of all, for example, this response compared to those the keyword, this response covers so many important keyword. Then this response we believe is good response. So this response based on those important keyword, this response does not have many important keyword, then we believe this is low level of the response. So we call it quantitative score. So now we can make good, bad, like score. And also another important thing is, for example, this is good answer, but this student didn't use a keyword, then we can let this student know you did not use a keyword, even though a keyword is very important. Okay, so here is the idea. So using this system, we make the two important feedback. So like, quantitative feedback, good, bad, kind of. And then qualitative feedback, like, the student skip or miss certain important keyword. So here is the result. Actually, we are developing web-based system, but now we don't have the web right now. So we are now developing, but right now, we can use just Excel and others. Here is the student response. And once this response input our system and automatically generate important keyword, and teacher just quickly check, this is important keyword or not, because teacher know the correct answer. So she figure out, those are good or not. If it is not good, basically, the question, the data cannot be used for this system, used by this system. But those are good, then move next step. So here is the score. Not sure you guys can see, But these are, we call it size score. So once you sort still response, then you can see the top, the most best response and worst response based on size score. So when you quickly check, those are really good and those are bad, then okay, our system works very well and you can use the scores. So here is accuracy. And when we check the Korean response and Indonesian response also, and also we are now collecting English response as well. We have the human score, like a teacher's real score, and we use the correlation method. And our benchmark is like, correlation 0.6, 0.7, because that's the benchmark that others paper are usually use. But actually, higher is always good and lower is not good. For example, most cases, over 0.6, like almost half of the 0.6, and 0.7 also, 0.8 sometimes. Again, this system, we did not develop the scoring model, and we did not input correct answer to the computer. We just upload student response. So there's nothing to do. We just upload student response that you guys need to score and didn't do anything, but accuracy is so high. So we test Indonesian score also, like a 0.6, about a 0.5, but usually low. But now actually I'm very skeptical about the human scoring. So later we need to carefully check the human scoring, but and also we can discuss why it happened. Actually, in the Indonesian response, we developed this system and we searched the best NLP, the materials, natural language processing, like AI tools to analyze Indonesian language, and it's not very accurate. It's not about the method, our system. It is about Indonesian linguistics AI technologies. So anyway, still it's very good result. So now we use those, so many, now, people are using our system, and we are figuring out this system is working very well and also save a lot of time. Here is, the system. For example, so word rank confirmation. So when you upload your response without scoring model, there's no scoring model, and you don't need to input correct answer. Just upload, student data, and the system show you the keywords and good or not. Teacher quickly figure out because they know the answer. Then good. Then just check the top response and bottom response. So also good. Then good. Then make these feedback, not the score. Make a feedback. For example, your answer is very well stated and well done, but following important words are missing. But please refer them and construct better response. And word 1, word 2 is the missing keyword. Every student have different missing keywords, so this is really customized. And here are an example of well-written response. Please keep in mind. For example, here top response, there are so many good answers, and you can choose one of them. So this our size system actually to generate this feedback. not score. So, again, our system is focused on formative assessment. The feedback is most important part of the formative assessment for the class. So we need to make the feedback like this feedback, not the score. So you guys need to have that in your mind. Again, our science system, the teacher don't need to input anything, such as the correct answer, an important keyword. They don't need to input. Automatically, this system find the important keyword and make the score. However, the teachers can customize, systemize. For example, teacher can remove important keyword. For example, the system accidentally find certain keyword as important, but you can remove. Then the system make better score. And also, sometimes if the certain answer is poor, then you can change the feedback. Then that means so teacher can do something. That accuracy of the system score is increased actually. So size score can reduce. However, for example, compared to the time that teacher need to score whole student response without this system, teacher can reduce time. If they use this system, teacher can reduce time about 50%. At least that's the minimum. And if they don't need to do anything, then they can save almost 100% of time. But it works. As you can see, it works. But teacher using this system, if they want to score based on the score, the scoring speed is very fast and you can save 50% of hours. So now we developed the SciWeb, or maybe next year, I can show you this system. So teacher just upload student response and check the information generated by the SCI system. And you guys, the teacher are okay, then use and generate the feedback and send the student feedback. Then now actually, we use this system for the about 2,000 student class. And every week, we give them 4 open-ended questions and 2,000 students and 4 open-ended questions. Think about how big. Then only one student can deal with, only one teacher assistant can deal with those response using this system. So that means our system saves a lot of time and effort that teacher need to score the data, student response. Here is we developed the fear system. Fear system is, the full name is Fear Evaluation Increasing Reflection. For example, sometimes teacher believe a science system cannot accurately extract the important keyword. Usually that means, the question is very, very open-ended. That means, student response are so diverse, like, creative thinking kind of, not closed, so diverse, then cannot, science system cannot score. The student cannot analyze the student response and cannot extract important keyword because student response are so diverse. But human can score. So this is another system. This is totally different system from Psi. So peer system is, the system that teacher can send the student response to the student so that they can score friends, peers response. So for example, now you, Dr. Nurma, collect the data and believe, Psi system doesn't work. Then, okay, let's use my student and using the peer system. And, Dr. Nurma easily spread the student response to student to score. Then, a student, score based on the rubric that Dr. Nurma suggests. It's like, survey style and, in the system. And click and score and give me a feedback. Then Dr. Nurma will get the result. Anyway, this peer system, we develop our this is web page, sciandpeer.com. So we develop together, Psi, this side is Psi, this is a peer. So if a teacher have both, then actually basically cover all possible questions. I introduced the YML, right? So, still we are interested in machine learning based scoring, computer scoring. That's much more accurate actually. So when you have your data and your score and train the computer and you get the scoring model, that is actually much more accurate than Psi system. That's the power of the machine learning. However, again, you guys need data and your score. This very, time-consuming process. But our Psi system can reduce the time to score. Then you can easily make the human scoring data. Then, once you have your own score, then you can use the YML, Y machine learning, and make the scoring algorithm. Then you will have, and then the scoring algorithms work very well. Then you don't need Psi again, right? And then if you want to use the same question, you don't need to use Psi. Then you can just use scoring model that you train using YML. This is the, how both can work together. So we developed the Psi system. Psi system is for, it can be used when you don't have scoring algorithm, scoring model, but you have bunch of the student response. And you don't, have much time to score student response. Then you can use our Psi system. But if you believe, the Psi system cannot work, and student can do, then you can use peer. But actually in the peer, when you use peer system, student learn a lot. So we already tested many things, and student really learn a lot. So it's very good system. Teacher save the time, and student learn a lot. So, both, using you guys, when you use both, you have the student response and you have the score. Then you can use Y machine learning and train scoring model. Then this is Y system, computer scoring, machine learning based computer scoring system. You can use your scoring model to score your future answer. So those are one set of our AI system. Hope you guys understand. And now we want to move, so my student Sarah, prepare some demonstration of the size system, and then show the original data preparation and upload, and what is the output of the, and then you can check how much it takes, and Sarah can show the data, how many the items are, maybe when you see the data, amount of data that no one wanna score, actually so many. Last week we collect so many the data.
Can you hear me? Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, thank you. So last week we already collect some data. Minggu lalu kita sudah mengerjakan 3 soal ya terkait ekosistem, and the data is related to like ecosystem equations. So I have download all the data, and we have like 146 students. And from this data, I will this is like a very raw data. I just download it from the Google form. And then if I want to put this data into SAI, I need to change the data into this format. It's very easy. I mean, like I just make code of each person, and then I divided the data into like 3 sheets in the Google in the Excels, and then we can prepare this and save to your folder. And then I will open the grading, but unfortunately I cannot show the whole coding in this system. But later, so in the system I can upload the data that I have organized in the proper format, and then when I upload, I can just click, and then it will run. It's very fast. And then the second one, can click, and then third code, can click. Just have to click them all, and then this data I have upload, and then okay, I can click again. It finish. This one next. Okay. So later, there is like this result will shown. Maybe because previously I have run this data, it's already shown at first, but it's supposed to be like there is nothing here, and then it will show after I run this code, and then we can just directly download it. And when it's downloaded to our system, this is the original data, and this is the result of the site. So it's pretty fast, and the SAI result will show you first ada word ranks. So there are 3 questions, right? Ada 3 questions. Yang ini adalah ranking dari word extract yang dari question pertama, and then ini adalah extract word top words dari questions kedua, dan ini questions ketiga. Dan when we see this page, there is like your answer, and then from this answer we can just quickly sort the data. Kita bisa sort datanya based on the score, berdasarkan skor. Saya akan mengorganisir data ini dari yang tertinggi ke yang terendah, dan kita bisa melihat dari sini, kita bisa melihat jawaban-jawaban yang skornya tinggi dan jawaban yang skornya rendah. Begitu juga yang ini. Saya bisa skor. Lalu yang ini juga. Yap. Oke. that's all I think.
Yeah.
For
Okay.
presentation.
Thanks so much, Professor Ara, and so I can continue the explanation.
Mhm.
So Sarah sent me the data. Here is the output. But again, it's important. Actually, last week when we collect the data, then we analyze, and for example, if all students' data are really good, so all correct, our system cannot figure out which is important keyword. If all response are good, then also the system cannot figure out, which is correct response. So basically, for example, like some, like 20 or 30 are good answer, and like 40 is middle level answer, and there are several, the worst, very bad answer. So you guys know about difficulty of the question, difficulty. So difficulty is for example, all students got correct answer, the difficulty is very high, right? And then, if all, got the incorrect answer is very low, then this is not work. But remember, so certain difficulty item is good item. So the teacher must have the good item. A very easy item, very difficult item doesn't work. So when I actually check, for example, this is the student filter. Yeah. So here is the good answer. Here is go down, bad, bad, bad. See, their like answer is perfect, like almost textbook level answer. And see the bottom also good answer. I think when I check the system is all good. That's the problem. But when we have the real high school data, then when we analyze high school data, some response are good, some are like middle level, and some is very poor. Then it works very well, as you can see like this result, like these are. But those are like now current situation. If the all students' response are very good, our system doesn't work, and we can the score is not very reliable. But if you have good and some bad answer, that's good. And also another idea is, that's a very important idea. For example, usually before class, student response are usually poor, right? Because they don't learn. But after class, their response usually very good, right? So if you have both pre-data and post-data together and analyze, then it works greatly. Because there is a poor response and also very good response. So that's the one way that we can use this system. I think this is all that we prepared today. So I really want to introduce YML system. So how you can develop the scoring algorithm using machine learning. And I want to talk about the disadvantage of the machine learning based method. That's why we developed the size system. And size systems can be used to reduce teachers' time and effort to score student response. And also, you can use our another system, peer and YML with the side, and you guys will relieve the stress from the scoring if you use open-ended assessment. Again, if you use multiple choice assessment, actually you guys don't need to use all AI. But actually almost 40 years ago, since 40 years ago, the Western and European country have not used multiple choice assessment. And these days in Korea, the teacher must use 80% of item as open-ended assessment. So more and more open-ended assessment always, guarantee better and better education. So if Indonesian education, if you guys want to develop student competency, student ideas, student competency, student abilities, student writing and student reasoning, then must use open-ended assessment. And eventually, you guys need to use AI to relieve the stress. Okay, so my talk is done, and we can have the Q&A section.
Okay, thank you. It is an interesting topic.
So, any question?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Now we are going to the Q&A session. So please, for you who have a question to Professor Minsu, you may raise your hand, or you can drop your question in the chat box. You can use Bahasa Indonesia and we will try to translate it. Okay, you can raise your hand. Okay, one question from Mr. Ajis.
Test.
Yes.
Bisa? Okay. So hello, Minsu Ha and Sarah. How are you?
Good. Yeah.
Okay, good. Yeah. So this is very interesting project. Yeah. Very big project, I think, because I always think that assessing something like an answer in description answer is very difficult, because it's not just about the keyword, but I think we should know about the feeling of the answer that student give to us. I mean, sometimes aku cinta kamu, it doesn't mean in kamu cinta aku. Yeah, in English, I think in English it will be easier to analyze that. So how does the system work?
Yeah, okay, that's very important. That's the most common question
So
they
the
always
example just like
receive,
this. I love you is that if I answer I love you, is that have sense score with you love I.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, I know.
The same
It means
words.
you love me, but in Indonesia, subject and object it's not different. Yeah, but in English, I as a subject, it will change me in object. But in Indonesia, maybe Sarah, I think you know that, yeah. aku cinta kamu is the same score with kamu cinta aku. Yeah, that is my question. So how does the system work with that? Thank you so much.
Yeah. Okay. So that's very important. That's why we need to use the bigram feature. Bigram feature is that, for example, cat hate dog. Dog hate cat. That's the totally different meaning, but use the same keyword, right? Bigram, feature means cat hate dog. 3 word is unigram keyword. Unigram feature. Bigram is cat hate. Together, that's one bigram feature. Hate dog is another bigram feature. So if we use the bigram feature, basically, that problem is not happening. Hope you guys understand, and there is trigram feature and many, multiple features, multiple gram feature. We call it n-gram feature. So when I show you, let me show you again, YML. We need to back to YML. So YML. So here is, unigram. This is unigram. This is bigram. This is trigram. So a trigram. So for example, this is a unigram feature, one keyword. This is a bigram, boho and we had together. If you use, bigram feature, then, the computer can differentiate two different questions. So don't worry, yeah. But, if you want to use a bigram, the processing time is increased usually, So is it the good answer for you? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Just, there are many technology. Don't worry about that. When you have any the problem, there should be the technology for you.
Okay. Any question again? Any feedback from Mr. Ajis, maybe? Any feedback? No. Yes. Okay. Yeah, I hope that the answer satisfies your concern, Mr. Ajis. Any question? Dear participants, you can drop your question in the chat box, maybe. Using bahasa is okay.
Yeah, we have Sarah.
Yes, we have Sarah. Okay.
And also
Maybe.
I have, translator here. It's we use, the Papago developed by the neighbor company. So always I use the Papago for to see Indonesian data.
Maybe the student in this room, maybe question from the student. Satu pertanyaan mungkin dari mahasiswa yang ada di Zoom. Penjelasannya sangat luar biasa tadi bagaimana machine learning bekerja. Silakan.
You can use bahasa Indonesia and Pak Bayu will help to translate to English.
Oke, Mr. Bayu. Another Bayu.
Okay. Good morning. Afternoon, sir. I have question about can we use can we use AI to access specific process skill kayak gitu. Contohnya, for example kayak critical thinking or problem solving. Jadi intinya bisa nggak sih kita menilai menggunakan AI tadi ini, menggunakan open-ended ini untuk menilai keterampilan spesifik. Karena tadi kalau yang dijelaskan kayaknya saya nangkepnya itu terkait hasil belajarnya gitu. Nah kalau untuk mengukur spesifik proses skill kayak critical thinking or problem solving itu bagaimana caranya? Mungkin gitu Pak Bayu.
Yeah, I think I can understand. So your answer is about how we can score creative thinking, kind of high order thinking using the AI, right?
Yes, right, sir.
Yeah, is that right? So that I know that's the one thing that we always concern. So basically, even teachers, for example, for example, so our creative thinking question. So you have the problem. So we give the student the problem. So whatever is okay, develop solve this problem using your idea, kind of. So student response are very diverse, very open. So they're so diverse, and there must be good answer and bad answer again already. But the problem is the score is also very subjective between teachers because they have very different idea about creativity. Then also computer very hard. Computer also have same difficulty in differentiating the student creativity. So it's not about for example, it's not about the AI. It is about questions. But still think about, for example, originality. So all students, 99% students suggest A idea, A and B and C idea, but suddenly only one student suggests very unique idea, like a D idea, for example. Then computer can figure out who has very unique answer. Then still think about, for example, those students was not able to understand response and just write very different answer. Then computer don't know it's a unique or just very long answer, right? But still, the teacher need to double check human. So basically, computer have the very hard time to differentiate and to define the creativity because human cannot provide information enough for computer to define that. So even human has the teacher, real human also very have difficult in score creativity idea. Then how computer? So it's very hard task. But we can, if we have very clear scoring guide. For example, students use very different keyword, then we give them the score, kind of very objective and clear guide we can develop. But so by you, I think it's if you have this same question, maybe you can search creative idea question example. So just example of the question and example of the good answer for the question and scoring guide. When you have, I think I can design. But now, there is no scoring rubric, there is no question, just thinking about, test for creativity, test for high order thinking, then, I can answer. But when we have the question and when you have the scoring guide, and we know, if we know the difference between good answer and bad answer, then we can design the system. So I really want to have that example. But still, it must be hard, So usually, those are kind of our final goal, AI researchers' last goal, but, very hard.
Cabut, Bu. Oke, any feedback from Mr. Bayu?
Pak, bisa diartikan yang bagian terakhir nggak Pak? Yang setelah guide apa sih?
Okay,
Maybe
maybe
creative edit. Iya itu Pak.
maybe Mbak Sarah can help the Mr.
Okay.
Bayu to translate it.
Jadi kan untuk menilai kreativitas dan menilai kreativitas dan high order thinking skill, tadi Profesor Ha menyampaikan kalau misalnya ada standar atau rubrik, mungkin kalau misalnya ada standar atau rubrik kita bisa mendesain sistem ini gitu. Dan untuk sekarang mungkin belum sampai situ, tapi itu adalah salah satu goal salah satu goal dari AI sistem ini. Jadi kalau ada rubrik dan ada rubriknya, ada standarnya, mungkin kita bisa desain untuk arah sana seperti itu untuk kreativitas. Menurut saya ini pertanyaannya sangat menarik, Bayu. Terima kasih karena pertanyaannya mengignite ideas. Good questions, thank you.
Oke, saya rasa cukup jawaban untuk Mas Bayu sudah jelas sekali dari Mbak Sarah dan Prof. Minsu. I think enough. Because of the time, I'm sorry. Thank you, Prof. Minsu Ha. Because of the time, I think it was the last question today. Before closing your speech, please give a closing statement for students and all of the participants here.
Yeah, actually, I have many Indonesian students so far, and some 12 students is now studying in the United States, and one already become, the researcher at Stanford Research Institute. And recently, his name is Arif Rahmatullah, and 2 days ago actually he visited in Korea, and we had a very good time. And he's now working for the AI education at the Stanford Research Institute. And so I always, concerned about, because my student, I have been interested in Indonesian education, and I know, now the like kind of achievement, the PISA test and, the like a PISA test score. Indonesian the students always lower level of the, so, and also we collect several data from the Indonesia, and we always figure out, students' listening ability and student performance is always very low level. So, and then I always concerned about how we can develop the Indonesian students' ability. And now we believe, so we believe, the open-ended assessment is the one way to improve Indonesian students' ability. So the teacher, I hope, you guys and, the pre-service teacher or in-service teacher try to change the mind about assessment, perception about assessment, and always thinking about the assessment must be play a role in, student, studying, not just grading. And if you have such a perception, it must understand the role of the open-ended assessment, and also eventually, must be interested in AI. Also, AI itself is very important, and really many, the researchers around the world are now studying AI education. The student, so if you use AI for open-ended assessment, the students are familiar with AI and also as well as the open-ended assessment. So we can take both. And so Arif, when he visited Korea several days ago, we discussed a lot about how we can improve Indonesian education using AI and others. So I think this opportunity is really a good and valuable opportunity for you to have such an insight. And if you have that idea, then I'm very happy.
Okay, thank you very much, Professor. Before we close, as an appreciation for the speaker, the committee already prepared a certificate for you. Okay, please wait. Okay, please
Yes,
give
thank you so
applause.
much.
Thank you so much. Thank you very much, Professor Minsu. I think it is enough for today. We are very happy to learn a lot from you, and I hope after this event, we can implement it well in our study. Ladies and gentlemen, finally, we are now at the end of main session, and I would like to apologize if there are some mistakes. And thanks to all participants and distinguished speaker. We hope that we can see you again in the next event, maybe. Ms. Juwita, the time is yours. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Bayu and Professor Minsu Ha. Before we close this session, this study session, please all the participants turn on the camera, please. Okay. Let me to take the screenshot for page 1.
Okay.
And then page 2. Okay, page 3. Page 4. Okay. Thank you for all the participants. And these are the agenda today. As we have finished our event, I would like to apologize if I'm making some mistake. And thank you for your participation. And it's been our pleasure to host this event. Thank you. See you next time.
Yeah.